Hello my loves, I'm Shah and welcome to Tarot with Love, your spiritual safe haven. I'm so excited to be back today with a new video, especially because we are switching it up a bit. So every month I like to do month ahead predictions, but I found that when I just go into a reading with, especially a collective reading with just the intent to do a month ahead prediction, I tend to get very distracted by all the messages that come through. It gets really jumbled, it gets very annoying, and it feels very untidy and messy. And so we are going to be looking at your biggest blessing in April. Also today we are not using tarot. Instead we are going to be using playing cards, and these are not just any playing cards. These are vintage Tao playing cards that I got at like a huge steal. I got them for like 50 rand, which is like $5 and then when I googled them I saw that they go for like 50 to like $100 if I remember correctly. I think 50 was the lowest. I'm very excited to be using these cards for your reading today. So let me introduce you to your groups. I won't show you the cards themselves, just so you don't choose your group over which of these cards you like more. Rather just trust the energy that you're feeling called to. So group 1, group 2, and group 3. Okay, I'll now give you a moment to really meditate, focus, do whatever you have to do to find which group you feel most called to, or groups. It's perfectly fine if you feel called to more than one group. You never know where you'll find your messages. Before I leave you, I would like to remind you all that this is a collective reading. The messages found here are not going to apply to everyone, nor should they. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and don't force anything if it doesn't fit. Alright. Hello my group 1, if you are here it means you have chosen the 3 of hearts. Okay, so in traditional tarot the 3 of hearts is the 3 of cups, so we're already seeing that a very big blessing coming towards you in April is that you're going to be celebrating more. You're having more reason to celebrate, you're having more reason to go out, you're living your life in a way that suits you. Living your life on your terms. You're going out with friends, even if you're just going out by yourself, you're embracing life. You're just embracing life. But let's pull more cards for you. Biggest blessing for my group 1 this April, please. The biggest blessing for my group 1 this April. Okay, a lot of heart energy, so a lot of love coming towards you this April. The biggest blessing for my group 1 this April. The 8 of Spades. Biggest blessing coming towards my group 3 this April. Okay. Oh, not that glare. I was hoping that there wouldn't be a glare today with these cards, but unfortunately there is a bit of one, but I don't think it's too noticeable. I also know that a lot of you don't really sit and watch my videos. There's nothing to really sit and watch, that you just listen. It's very listenable, so I hope it's not too bothersome. But okay, where were we? This April we're looking at the Ace of Hearts, the Three of Hearts, the Eight of Spades, the Queen of Spades, the Three of Spades, the Seven of, and I almost said Pentacles, the Seven of Clubs. They're not even Pentacles, they're like, the equivalent is the Wands, and the Jack of Hearts. So right off the bat, looking at that Ace of Hearts and Three of Hearts, we're seeing a lot of new love come into your life this April. Your biggest blessing is going to be this new love, this new beginning in love. And when I'm talking about new love here, it could be a significant other, a new person, a partner. But I don't want to limit this reading to just the romantic connection. I don't want it to just be from that perspective, and I don't think it is, because we have the Eight of Spades right after. So we're seeing this, I'm hearing lightning strikes. How can I put this into words? Because in short, and also if you do want to learn how to read playing cards, I will link the guide that I learned from in the description box, because sometimes tarot can be daunting, but we all have, or many of us have, playing cards, or they're easily accessible to us. So if you don't want to read for yourself with tarot, playing cards it's easy, it's accessible. I'll link it below. But here, where was I? The Eight of Spades, we're looking at, in short, self-mastery, inspiration. And the spades as our swords, it's a suit of intellect, the intellectual realm. And so a lot of this love that's coming into your life, it's this creative passion, this love that is alighted in you because of a creative endeavor, because of a creative passion, because of a new business idea, a creative idea, a new hobby, a new class, a new experience that you're having with, I don't want to even say with other people, because it could be an experience you're just having by yourself, something you're just experiencing by yourself. How do I put this into words? I feel like many of you this April are going to be blessed with a new chance, a new beginning. And obviously I've already said this, and I've already kind of spoke about it, but I feel like in a way I'm going in circles, and it's a bit hard to get to the center of the message, as if your biggest blessing is something that needs to be otherwise unknown to you. It may be something that you may have been manifesting for a long time, or wishing for a long time for, and a part of you, or some of you in this group, may have already given up on this thing and said, or not even given up, like let it go and trusted the divine with this thing, saying if it's meant for me, it'll come to me, and if it's not, that's fine. I have so many other things to do, so many other endeavors, so many other dreams and wishes and goals. And because of that, because you haven't made this thing your whole life, your whole world, as it may once have been, it's going to come into your life in a completely unexpected way. And that's why I feel like I'm going around in circles a bit, and why like the beginning of this reading was so just jumbled. At least it was jumbled to me. So let's just start from scratch. We'll start from scratch. I'll still leave the beginning in because I can't get through the other explanation without getting through the beginning. But what we're seeing also, oh my gosh, besides what I said earlier about celebration and new love, I just heard the phrase mental clarity, and that makes so much of sense when we have the amount of spades here, and we have this Queen of Spades here, which in traditional tarot is the Queen of Swords. You are being blessed for the work you've done and the effort you've put in to become this Queen of Swords person. And that's obviously regardless of your gender. But you've put your head down, you've worked hard, you've stayed committed to your path, you've stayed focused on the end goal, and where you may have once let love control you, love consume you, you've found a kind of balance. You're not the person you were 5-6 months ago, who spent all their time thinking about love, spent all their time thinking about this one person, who spent all of their time mindlessly manifesting a person when they could be doing so many other things. And I'm very conflicted about the idea of manifesting someone. I can go either way on any given day, and I think that's fair. But in your case, I feel like it was to your own mental detriment, where you were so holding on to this connection, you were only harming yourself. You were keeping yourself away from the growth you really needed to experience. You were so focused on this connection that you were missing out on other opportunities, not just in love, but just in life, the other opportunities that were being shown to you, because you knew in your heart that you had to be where this person was, where this person was going, be doing what this person was doing. You weren't living your life for you, you were living your life for this person. And this could be whether the two of you were in a relationship, or whether you were friends, or whether you were in no contact. You were not living your life for you. You were living your life just so you could manifest this person. And then it came to a point where you kind of gave yourself the wake-up call. You were one day so love-struck, so obsessed with this idea of this person, and then the next day, and I don't want to say it was like a switch flipped, I feel like it was a lot of gradual understandings of how your mind was working, how your heart was working, the kind of destructive patterns you'd fallen into. And slowly, you started to work you started to work yourself out of this haze, until you had this aha moment. this realization of why this person became your everything when you were kind of dispensable to them, replaceable to them. And when you reach this realization and you started to become this Queen of Swords person, this person who started to put themselves first, who started to devote their time to their own practice, devote their time to working on their own goals, just devote their time to themselves instead of to another person, that's when everything started to align in your favor. And I'm not saying that, oh, your biggest blessing in April is that this person is coming back. No, not at all. Maybe for some of you. But it's just that you are being rewarded in a beautiful way. You are being blessed with love, the love that you seek. And if this love is in the form of friendship, if this love is in the form of celebration, if this love is in the form of spending more time with your family, if this love is in the form of the love you show yourself, these are things that are going to be increased tenfold in your life this April. And if the love that you seek is that romantic love, that is also coming towards you this April. Especially since we have this Jack of Hearts, and we could think of this Jack of Hearts as someone who is a bit inexperienced in love, a bit unsure, unsteady. I keep thinking, like, you know, in like K-dramas, or well, just any show really, where there's this kind of clumsy character who's never been in a relationship before, they don't really know what they're doing. I feel like this person is like that. They don't necessarily have to be like innocent, they don't have to be someone who's never dated, but I feel like there's someone who takes every relationship like it's their first relationship. Everything they do, it's like the first time they're doing it. And I feel like this is very intentional so that they don't compare each new friendship, each new relationship to one that came before, because doing that can be very disheartening to the person who is the one facing all of this comparison. This person who's coming into your life, especially if this is, well, it could be romantic, it could be any connection. I just feel like it's so, well, if we think of it as, I just feel like it's so romantic, but this could also be someone who's just a bit younger than you, who is kind of looking up to you and trusting you to guide them, and your blessing this April is the chance to really guide them in the way that you needed guidance at their age, or even just love, even just friendship at their age. A family member, a student, somebody younger than you, or even just more immature than you. It's like in April, you are just being given the chance to, how do I say this? And my heart is racing now. And I haven't been doing anything, and this never happens. Okay, it's happened in a few other readings, but that's just what happens sometimes when you channel messages. Now I feel like crying. Ugh. You guys, what's going on with you? It's like in April, I feel like, why do I feel like crying? Oh my gosh. Like, I haven't even said anything that, like, like, do you understand right now? I haven't said anything or even thought anything that could make me cry, and I just started crying. Like, I don't want to say this is the annoying part about being a reader and channeling messages, but it can be, because sometimes the feelings that just come over you are so overwhelming. I'm gonna try and speak as calmly as possible through the tears, because I feel like with the Queen of Swords card that came through also, that you may also put on a bit of a persona of being stronger than you really are, because on one hand you are so focused, so dedicated, so strong, but on the other hand, maybe you haven't had the kind of experiences with love that you've always wanted to have, or the experiences with love that you've craved, whether it's romantic, friendship, whatever. It was never what you desired, and so it came to a point where you started to believe you didn't need that in your life anymore. You didn't need the love, you didn't need the connection, you didn't need these experiences, because you were just going to be successful. That was it. You were going to become the most successful CEO, the most successful this. You're going to be the world's, like, some country's first female president. I don't know. You put all of your hopes into your ambitions so that you wouldn't have to focus on your emotional needs. You wouldn't have to recognize what you really wanted, what you really desired. You could just say, well, that's just not for me, because I have all of these other things. I'm successful, I have my family, I'm an up and coming star, I have all of these other things, and so I don't need this love, this connection. And I also feel like that's why it was so difficult to get to the root of the message from the beginning of this reading, because you put up so many walls, and I feel like, well, your biggest blessing, of course, is going to be the loving connection coming into your life this month. But more than that, your biggest blessing is going to be the chance to put your walls down, the chance to be vulnerable with someone. I can just imagine you, like, after all of this time of feeling lonely, after all of this time of feeling as if love, connection, friendship, all of these things weren't meant for you, you're going to have a moment just talking with someone in April and breaking down. And I feel like I just got overwhelmed with that emotion, because you're going to get overwhelmed with this emotion, because it's like one moment you're fine, you're hanging out with this person, and they say something that just has you in their arms in tears, because you never thought you would have this experience. You never thought you would have this close friendship. You never thought you would have this partner. You never thought you would have the ability to be a mentor to someone. You never thought you would have the chance to be sensitive and loving and love. And it's going to be a really eye-opening moment for you and for this other person for the better. And it's going, and like it's a blessing to be able to be vulnerable with someone in and of itself. That is a blessing. And for you to have all of these things, it's not even all of these things because they go hand in hand with each other. This relationship that you think isn't going to work out because all of your relationships don't work out, or this friendship that you think same thing isn't going to work out because you've never had a friendship work out, and suddenly to be in a moment where you're like, you know, this is serious, I'm really loved by this person and I love this person, and it may be not even a new connection but a connection that takes a serious turn in April, that makes you realize that, well, that you're really loved, and that you finally have everything that you've always wanted, everything that you may have thought for a long time that you can't have, that was just completely out of touch to you. You're going to realize that you have it, and that is going to be hard for you. I feel you may even feel like pulling away. You may even feel like pulling away because you can't even conceptualize somebody wanting you in this way, loving you in this way finally. And so you may want to pull away, but I urge you not to, because this is your blessing. This is something that is meant for you. Okay? Well, even to say meant for you feels like, because are things ever meant for us? It's the same reason why I don't like people saying, you know, you deserve this, you don't deserve that, because what does it matter if you deserve or don't deserve something? You know how many people have things they don't deserve, quotation marks? You think some of these billionaires deserve to be billionaires? No, they're horrible people. So I hate when somebody says you deserve this or you didn't deserve that, because whether or not you deserve something, it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to be the best person in the world to be loved. You don't have to be the worst person in the world. You don't have to have gone through the most traumatic experience in order to deserve to be understood. You know, you should just be loved. You should just be understood. You should just receive good things in your life, and I want you to know that, so that when these good things come into your life, you don't shy away from them, pull away from them, because whether or not you feel as if you deserve something, it doesn't matter. This love is here for you, and it's the love you've always wanted. So why pull away from it? Do you know what I mean? But okay. Should I pull more cards? Maybe a last card for advice? Last card for advice for my group 1, please. For April, a card of advice for my group 1's April. Okay. 2 of Swords. I always read this card as, well, for one, traditionally you read it as taking the blindfold off, but I also always read it as needing to make a decision. And so when you're faced with this blessing this April, the blindfold, I feel, is this blindfold of inadequacy that you have come to wear, sort of as a coping mechanism. You see, you've become this Queen of Swords person, so self-assured, so true to yourself, so dedicated, so motivated, so hardworking, but to an extent it's a facade, because by becoming all of these things, you've also cut out the part of yourself that desires, that yearns. And when faced with your blessing being answered and being faced with the need for emotional vulnerability and emotional intimacy, you may find yourself retreating. And so the biggest advice I can offer you for April, when faced with this blessing, is to not retreat, because this is everything you've always wanted. It's everything you've asked for. And well, I can say not retreat, but at the end of the day, it's your decision. It's absolutely your decision. And I'm hearing that as soon as I said it's your decision, I heard that One OK Rock song. Pretty sure it's just called Decisions, with Tyler something, or is it the Kellen Quinn? I don't remember. It's my decision. Absolutely not sure, but it's your decision to make. And I hope you make the decision that honors you and honors your heart, not the decision that honors your anxiety. Okay, my group one, I think that this is where I'll close your reading. Thank you so much for trusting me to be a reader. If you would like to book a reading with me, or you would like to leave me a tip, you can find the links to do so in the description box below. And while you're there, follow me on social media. I'm on Twitter and Tumblr at Tarot with Love. Alright, bye-bye. Hello, my group 2. If you are here, it means you've chosen this 8 of Hearts, which in traditional tarot is the 8 of Cups. So just looking just looking at this card alone, we can see that your biggest blessing in April is going to be, or is going to come as a result of you letting go of something, of you leaving behind something for better. Because whenever we look at this card, that is us letting go. It's you letting go. As a playing card, we see the 8 as self-mastery, inspiration, and the hearts as emotions, feelings, relationships, in line with what the cups mean. So your blessing is either you becoming so in tune with your emotions and feelings that you decide to leave a situation when it's no longer for you, or your blessing is going to come as a result of you choosing to do this. But let's pull some more cards and see what the entire story is. Also, if you would like to learn how to read playing cards, I will link the guide I use down below. It's less daunting than reading tarot, I feel, because like everybody has a deck of playing cards, and if you don't, it's easily accessible. It doesn't feel as scary, I feel, as tarot does. And so if you feel like reading for yourself, or you would like to try reading for yourself, I feel like playing cards is an amazing way, even if it's just to test your intuition, just to strengthen it in a way. It can be wonderful. So I'll link it down below. It's not mine. I got it from another YouTuber. I don't remember his channel, but I'll find it. I will find it. I'm not sure how long ago I watched the video, but I definitely will find it, because this has been like an absolute godsend. Okay, a blessing for my group 2 this April. The biggest blessing for my group 2 this April, rather. Okay, the Three of Diamonds. Biggest blessing for my group 2 this April. Ace of Spades. The Ace of Spades has always been my favorite card from the time I was little. Blessing for my group 2 this April. Biggest blessing for my group 2 this April. Okay. Biggest blessing for group 2 this April. Alright. So we have the Three of Diamonds, the Eight of Hearts, the Ace of Spades, King of Hearts, Ace of Hearts, Nine of Clubs, and the Three of Hearts. So with the Three of Pentacles and the Eight of Hearts, sorry, its traditional tarot equivalent is the Pentacles, so I don't know why I just defaulted to calling it the Pentacles. With the Three of Diamonds, it just started to rain. It's been like storming the whole day. It's marvelous. But yeah, actually it's so funny now that I bring it up. I get charged for Spotify on the 26th. On the 26th of every month. I'm filming like super ahead of time because I'm on break next week. I'm traveling for my graduation and for like a mini holiday. It's a whole thing. So it's the 26th of March right now, and you will see this on the 31st of March. Is it 31 days in March? January, February, March, yeah. On the 31st, no, it'll be Saturday. So the 1st of April, you'll see it on the 1st of April, depending on time zones, 31st, 1st, 2nd, whatever. But right now it's the 26th, and I get charged for Spotify every month on the 26th. Obviously, it's a monthly thing. And today it was like raining, and right when the first like thunder and lightning struck, and it was this loud booming one, it was right then that Spotify charged me. It was so funny. My brother said it's a bad omen, but I will not take it as one. But where were we? With the Three of Diamonds and the Eight of Hearts, it's as if you recently, well, I can't really, it's hard for me to pick up on the energy of whether you already did this or if you did this in April, but I feel like this is like the backstory to your blessing. Whereas with group one, it kind of just came out right away that this is the blessing. With you, it's like, here's the whole backstory so you can understand why this is such a blessing for my group two or your group two. But it's as if you mustered up the strength to walk away from a connection. And with the Three of Diamonds, we're seeing collaboration, teamwork. So this could have been a relationship, it could have been school, it could have been work, and it just wasn't working for you anymore. So in choosing to honor yourself, you did this scary yet brave thing, and you walked away. You put your own heart first, your own desires first, your own needs first. And yes, if this was a connection, I feel like you were very mature about it. You weren't like, I don't love you anymore, bye. It was like a serious decision. It was like something that you seriously thought about before you made the decision. And by making that decision, you came into this Ace of Spades energy. You came into this energy of having this like new mental beginning, of seeing the world, not the world, how do I say this? Once this relationship, whatever it is, I'm just going to call it a relationship, but it could be anything. It could be a job, it could be school, it could be a relationship. And with relationship as well, it's not necessarily only romantic. But when you ended this relationship, it was like you were suddenly hit with clarity that you had kind of keeping yourself from experiencing before. And it may be like once this relationship ended, you lost your rose-colored glasses. Feelings that you had hidden came to the surface. Thoughts that you had buried started to uncover themselves. It was like you were going through this rebirth, and wow, actually in the same position for group 1 that I pulled the Queen of Swords, I pulled the King of Hearts for you, and I just noticed, and the Three of Hearts came out for them as well. And I feel like the messages are kind of similar, and so you may find some messages for you in that group, or it may be that you two are mirroring each other in some way. These groups are mirroring each other in some way. So where was I? So you made this decision. You walked away. And in walking away, by taking your life into your own hands and saying that you're going to live your life for yourself, you started to become this King of Hearts person, and obviously that's regardless of gender, but you started to become someone who is so in tune with their own heart, in a way, who is so in tune with their emotions and feelings, someone who is ready to receive the love that, how do I say this? I don't want to say craving, yearning, because it feels like, it makes it feel helpless, when I don't think you're helpless. Do you know what I mean? You're open about wanting to try again in a relationship. You're open about your feelings. You're emotionally vulnerable. You're so sure that, and I'm looking at him, he like has a knife to his head, and I don't remember the quote. It's like, not love impales me or something, but essentially it means that you're willing to go towards love, to try again in love, even if it hurts you, because you know that to experience love is worth the pain that it will cause, or that it may cause rather. You're also not somebody who is going to run away from a situation or run away from the potential happiness just because of potential pain, potential suffering. And I feel like when you ended this relationship, and I keep talking about love, but this could be anything. It could be that you're not afraid to start a new job. It could be that you're not afraid to start a new endeavor, start your own business. It could be that you're not afraid to start a new friendship, to start a new project, to start something new. Even if people are telling you, just choose the safe route, just do something else. Oh, but you're gonna get hurt again. Oh, but you're gonna fail. You don't care about that. You don't, how do I say this? There's more important things to worry about than the what ifs. I don't feel like you're someone who is living your life controlled by the what ifs. You left behind this relationship, whatever it is, and because of leaving that behind, you've come to trust your own decision making, your own intuition so much more. And because of that, you are going to be blessed in April by seeing your efforts really pay off. with the Ace of Hearts and the Three of Hearts as well, we're seeing that the love you've given out is going to be returned to you tenfold. It's going to be as if the divine, the universe, has taken count of every show of compassion you've shown to other people, every kindness you've extended to other people, every time you haven't let negativity pull you down, every time you've let love stay alive in your heart. It's like they've tallied all of these moments and have multiplied them and made it something quantifiable. And so something big that you're manifesting or have been manifesting is coming into your life this April. And for many of you, this is a new love. And as I say that, I look at the Nine of Clubs and I remember that the way I learned to read playing cards, 9 is growth and manifestation. And so in April, a lot of your manifestations are coming into your reality. And I feel like we're going in two distinct ways. Where with some of you, well, a new love is a new love, and a new love can be anything. It could be new love for a friend, it could be new love for life, new love in the form of passion, a new romantic love. It could be anything. But with this person or this experience that's coming into your life in May, in April, and with that, since I accidentally said May, I feel like it's not a temporary thing. If it's a person that's coming into your life, it's not like, okay, we're going on 3 dates, that was amazing, see you never. No, this is someone who is going to be there for at least a while. This is something that's going to become a really important part of your life, and it's going to be an experience or a relationship or connection that is going to give you a lot of reason to celebrate. In fact, with the Three of Hearts, you may meet this person in a public place, a public gathering, how do I say this, like a place where you go to celebrate someone, a party, a ceremony, something where there's a celebration. And yeah, because the Nine of Clubs and the Three of Cups are, the Three of Hearts are side by side. It's the hard work and the celebration. So an office party, a graduation ceremony, something where you're celebrating somebody's hard work and achievements. You are going to either meet this person or fall into a connection or come across something or be offered something that is really going to shape your April and the months after. Something that is really going to prove to you how far you've come, how much work you've done on yourself, how much your effort has been paying off, how much your guides, the divine, your spirit team, how much they're actually watching you, listening to you, waiting for things to align for you, and how much they are on your side. I think that, like, more than this person or this thing coming in, the biggest blessing in April is you, how do I say this, is you really feeling validated, really feeling as if all of the hard work, all of the effort, all of the waiting, all of the patience, all of the trust in yourself. Okay, sorry about that. I had to stop recording for a moment. Where was I? Well, I know I was going to end my sentence with saying that it was all worth it. So whatever I said before this, just know that that's how it would have ended. Okay, this is like the absolute downside of not having a script. Where was I? I'm so sorry. I completely lost my train of thought. So let me just pull your card of advice, and maybe we could pick up again from there or something. We'll see. Advice for my group 2 for this April. Advice for my group 2 for the blessing this April, for receiving this blessing this group 2 for this April with regard to this blessing. Advice for my group 2 with regard to this April blessing. Okay, so many aces. It's like the only new beginning you aren't missing is the Ace of Pentacles, that financial new beginning. And it makes me feel as if, did I say pentacles? I keep calling the diamonds pentacles, the Ace of Diamonds. But it's like this blessing that's coming into your life this April is one that is going to, like I was saying earlier, yes, it's going to validate you, it's going to validate your efforts, it's going to make it all feel worth it, but it's also going to bring something into your life that you may have felt is missing. Interestingly enough, when we have the 9 of Clubs as well, it's as if you're just missing that one thing. The 9 of Clubs and the 8 of Cups, we have a 10 of Clubs. This person or this thing, this endeavor, this situation, this experience that you are being blessed with this April is going to be something that makes you feel whole, that makes you feel motivated, that makes you feel as if you have a purpose, that makes you feel as if all of the waiting, all of the wanting, all of the working was not for nothing. And I feel like they, or whatever this is, this connection, this experience, is coming into your life at like, I want to say the perfect time, because you've already proven to yourself that you're brave, you're strong, you're capable. If something isn't working for you, you know you can walk away. And if this person had come into your life, or the situation, whatever it is, had come into your life anytime prior, out of pure kindness, compassion, out of a fear to break someone's heart or to inconvenience someone, inconvenience a workplace, you may have just stuck with it. But now you're not the kind of person to just stick with someone because, or stick with something for the other person's benefit. You've become someone who can put yourself first, who can put your foot down, who can vocalize when things are going wrong and when things are going right, and who in your ability to do so can now be trusted with this blessing, with this new beginning, with this fresh start, and obviously when we see the Ace of Clubs, how do I say this? It's like the Ace of Hearts is your initial beginning, the new love. And then the Ace of Clubs comes out to remind you that, well, first of all, that love is not enough, passion is not enough, that it's going to take more hard work, more commitment, more dedication. It's going to take time and effort as well. And if you decide to embrace this thing, whatever it is, you're also going to have to prepare yourself to embrace the hard work that comes with it. Or even if it's not hard work, it's just work, it's just effort, it's just what's expected of you on this new road, in this new endeavor. So there's no one without the other. But you also have to know that you're fully prepared, you're absolutely fully capable of I have an agarbatti and an incense stick burning, and I don't know why the smoke is like, it's so strong now. It's so much stronger than it was earlier, and earlier I had two and it's like choking me a bit now. But where was I? It's also, now that I bring attention to the smoke, so in Libanamancy, whatever, however you pronounce it, smoke reading, usually when the smoke is like this kind of, well, you can't see it and I won't be able to record it because I don't want to move my setup too much, but it's like going straight up and then like swirling around like very heavily, creating these billows and everything. It's very like, it's very busy, very, and now it's just going up straight. It's like trying to get my attention. But when you read smoke, when it's like that, it's like things will work out for you, but it's not going to be easy. It's going to take a long winding road, a long winding route to get to the ending that you're working towards, the ending you want, the ending that you desire. And so with this new beginning, this new passion, if it's a new relationship, a new job, a new endeavor, a new anything, you're not going to be like successful at it at like in the first few days, in the first few months. No. As much as the thing itself is a blessing, the validation that you're being heard by your guides, by the divine, is a blessing. The ability to prove to yourself that you're capable is also a blessing. These are all blessings in their own ways, beautiful blessings. To be able to have that kind of confirmation that you're being heard, you're being listened to, you're being supported, that's an amazing blessing in and of itself. And for that to be compounded by all of these other things, the chance to prove yourself, the chance to have this new beginning, whatever this new beginning is, these are wonderful, wonderful blessings. And okay, my group 2, I think that this is where I'll close your reading. Thank you so much for trusting me to be a reader. If you would like to book a reading with me, or you would like to leave me a tip, you can find the links to do so in the description box below. And while you're there, you can check out my social media. I'm on Twitter and Tumblr at Tarot with Love. Alright, bye-bye. Hello, my group 3. If you are here, it means you have chosen this 8 of Diamonds. So already we see that a big blessing coming towards you in April is seeing a lot of your hard work paying off in your favor. Because with the 8 of Diamonds, keep almost saying Pentacles. It's not happening to me with any other of the suits. But with the 8 of Diamonds, we're seeing that you have, and you may still be doing so in April, putting in a lot of that work, a lot of that effort to really master your craft, master something that you're working on. And because of the time and effort, you are going to be reaping a lot of rewards. Okay, but let's shuffle more cards and get a big idea of the story. Also, if you would like to learn how to read playing cards for yourself, I will link the guide I learned from down below, and I'll link the YouTube channel as well of the person who made the guide. And I only say this because I feel like reading playing cards is so much less daunting than reading tarot. So if you've never read tarot before and you're not particularly inclined to, or you don't feel called to, but you would like to be able to read for yourself from time to time, or you would like to just test your intuition, strengthen your intuition, you can do so with playing cards. And playing cards are so much more accessible. Like, everybody has one, and if you don't, you can easily find one. Okay, so if you'd like to, I'll just link that in the description box. But okay, the biggest blessing for my group 3 this April. The biggest lesson for my group 3 this April. Okay, wow. The biggest blessing for my group 3 this April. 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 Okay. Biggest blessing for my group 3 this April. 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 Biggest blessing for my group this April. Okay. The first thing that comes to mind when I look at the spread and how things have laid themselves out, I feel like the big blessing coming towards you this April is the opportunity to prove a lot of people wrong. Because remember, your first card was the 8 of Diamonds, and you're being surrounded by these two figures, and these two figures could just be representative of society itself. It could be your parents, your mom, your dad. It could be extended family, mom's side of the family, father's side of the family, everybody around you telling you that you're not good enough, this is not going to work, you're making a mistake, you're ruining our family name, you're bringing disgrace to our family. And is that construction at this time of night? No, it's the water tank, I think. I hope, because the water tank, the sound of it doesn't show up in the videos, but if it's construction, it will. Where was I? So yes, you're getting the opportunity in April. You're being blessed with the opportunity, rather, to prove these people wrong. And my eye is being drawn to how these three are, first of all, they're only red cards. Second of all, they're all diamonds. And this is you, like this diamond in the rough. You have worked so hard on this path, whether it's working to follow a career path, an academic path, working to cement yourself as some kind of public figure, working to, or maybe for some of you it's relationship wise, you're in a relationship that your family doesn't approve of, you live your life. However it is, you live your life in a way that your family doesn't approve of, but you've overcome all of that. You've put in the work, and whether that work is just finding a way to get away from your family, you've put in the work. You've put in the work and you've succeeded. You've come to your 10 of Pentacle moments. You've come to your King of Again, Pentacles, your King of Diamonds and your Ten of Diamonds moment, it's become so that you are grounded in yourself. And in April, any doubts you had about whether or not you made the right decision, they're going to vanish. They're going to completely vanish, because with the Ten of Diamonds, what we're seeing is on one hand completion of a cycle, and on the other hand we're seeing financial wealth. We're seeing a financial improvement, and it doesn't have to be financial, it can be any improvement, but it's something that is cementing this path for you. Everybody told you were making the wrong choice. Everybody told you were going to regret it. Everybody told you were going to come running back saying you were right, but they weren't right. They were wrong about you, completely wrong about you. And in April, you're kind of going to get the chance to rub it in their faces. You shouldn't. Pride is the biggest way to get everything you've worked for just snatched away from you. But you're going to get the chance to say, I did it, even when you didn't believe in me. I did it. And for some of you, this could be like an engagement, a marriage. If it's, again, a relationship that your parents, your family, your community don't agree of, it's interracial, it's same-sex, it's one of those things, and they said, well, you'll never be happy living this kind of life, you're going to have this moment where you're like, of course I'm happy living this life. I'm loved living this life. It's everything I could have asked for, and I don't need these people in my life when they're not going to support me and love me for who I am and for who I'm, how I'm choosing to live my life. And for others of you who made a career choice that was against your family's wishes, you're also going to be able to have that moment with the Queen of Clubs and the Seven of Clubs coming out. I feel like these are connected, and I feel like the King and the Six of Spades are both connected, because it's very similar. Well, obviously they're the same suit, and I just feel like more than anything, this is the energy of the people who really doubt you. And with the Queen of Clubs, we're seeing someone who, I'm hearing, you made your bed, now lie in it. Like, think about when you first made your decision, or when they first pushed you to make your choice and things weren't going well because you just started out, your business wasn't flourishing, you were lost, you were uncertain about how to live, and you couldn't go back because you knew if you went back home it would be like admitting defeat, and you couldn't admit defeat. And now that you're succeeding in some way, this person may want to come back in your life. Like, actually with both of them, because with the Six of Spades, it's somebody wanting to reach out in communication. And so they could come back into your life and say, oh, we always knew that you would succeed, it was just tough love, we always knew you'd be okay, you'd be blah 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 blah. And it's really going to be up to you to make the decision about whether or not you want to accept these people back into your life, depending on how they treated you before, what they said to you before, if it's forgivable. But you also need to respect yourself. Well, I can't tell you what you need to do, because especially if it's family, it's hard to reconcile what you need to do, what will be best for you, with what you want to do, with what your heart is asking you to do. So I can't tell you, you need to do this and you need to do that and you should do this and you should do that. I can't tell you that. I can just lay it out for you. That's all I can do. I can just lay it out for you. And I feel like I'm so like sleepy and jumbled all of a sudden. Can you even see I'm like stuttering and like just jumbling all my words up? I've been doing it forever, like from the moment this video started, and it's like, oh, my recording of this video started, and it's like, especially with this communication card coming out, it's like, obviously communication is never easy. You can try, you can say something that you think or you thought conveyed your feelings perfectly, just to see the other person's reaction, and then 3 hours later realize how you could have worded it better. It's not easy. And so you could say, yes, on one hand, maybe this was tough love. Maybe it was them pushing you to go and try for yourself, to become better, to make your own legacy. But you also have to ask yourself if that's what you needed at that time, when what you needed is the support of your family, the support of your community. But you didn't have that. You were left to fend for yourself when you weren't ready to fend for yourself. And I haven't felt like crying for group one. I actually did cry for group one. Now I feel like crying for you guys again. My eyes are burning. But it's so like, you're gonna ask me like, how is this a blessing if it's gonna make me cry? But that's the nature of things, you know. Like, I could sit here and say it's a blessing, but there's something I read. It was from a manga actually, and then something I just reconceptualized while I was reading again, stumbling over my words, while I was reading the Mahabharata. This idea of, you know, God not punishing or blessing. They just bestow. God just bestows. I think it's bestow. I've been told I say words very strangely. But yeah, the idea of blessings, the idea of punishments, what is a blessing, what is a punishment, these are human classifications that we give to godly bestowments, to whatever God bestows. Like in the translation of the Mahabharata I read, it's the illustrated translation by Devdutt Patnaik, and there's this story very, very near the end where I'm tearing up as I speak, you guys. Like, I'm trying very hard to control it, but my eyes are wet and my nose is running. But there's the story near the end where while they're having this war between these two halves of the family, the Pandavas and I don't remember the other family's name, but in this war, a few of the brothers, the Pandava brothers, a few of their sons die. And when the first son died, I think it's Abhimanyu, when he dies, Krishna, who is present at this battle, it's, of course, the father, I think it's Arjuna, he's distraught, but Krishna is like, not overjoyed, but he's pleased, because now this is going to motivate this Pandava brother, this soldier, to actually fight wholeheartedly in this war. And even when it happens again to one of the other brother's children, it motivates them to give 100% where they may have been giving 50% because they didn't really want to fight against their family. Meanwhile, their family was more than okay to fight against them in this way. And it's like, this is such a tragic experience. So of course you're going to think that this is a punishment, but it's this death, this so-called punishment, that allowed you to win this war and allows you to live. So is it a punishment? Is it a blessing? Does such thing exist? Or do things just happen? And sometimes, or once you really remove that idea of being punished or being blessed, which is kind of weird to say in this setting where we're talking about your biggest blessing for April. But especially when you think about punishments, right? Once you start to really like deep dig down into what punishments and blessings really mean to you, then you really start to appreciate what is being given to you in your life. But sometimes what you see as a blessing is a punishment, and sometimes what you see as a punishment is a blessing. And in your case, something that may have felt like a punishment a long time ago is going to reveal itself to be your biggest blessing this April. It's, if you hadn't been abandoned in the way you had been, if you hadn't been thrown out the way you had been, if you hadn't been forced to grow up so fast and rely on yourself, then you may not have come to the point where you are now. And that's not to say that, oh, it's good that you suffered, or you never would have succeeded if you didn't suffer. No, not at all. It's not even to say that some things are meant to happen. It's just that some things happen and you can't get to one end without experiencing the other. And in your life, you may never have become this 10 of Pentacles, this 10 of Diamonds, this 10 of Diamonds, King of Diamonds person if you weren't forced to remove yourself from this king and queen. And because you were made to remove yourself from this king and queen, this community, this family, whatever it was, because you were alienated and isolated in such a way, you were able to rely on yourself and rely on the community that you built around you and become someone who is now in every way successful and reaping the fruits of their efforts. And I feel like because we're seeing an 8, a 10, and a king of diamonds, but we're not seeing a 9 of diamonds, I feel like you've been on the go for a long time. Because that 9 of diamonds, when it comes through, is kind of like a breaker. Like, oh, you had a moment to breathe and you could, you could see how far you've come. I feel like it wasn't like that. I feel like you worked and worked and worked and worked and worked because you had the idea of who you want to be. And then one day you woke up and you realized that you have everything. You didn't even have to stop and say, well, I want 10,000, but I have 5,000 now. That's wonderful. You just work so much, you didn't allow yourself to be distracted. And whatever it is, it doesn't have to be work or money related. You know what this is. It's one day you were working so hard, and the next day you had it all. And maybe you're not where you want to be yet, but you're somewhere there. And that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. And in April, you're going to be blessed with the opportunity to really reflect on how hard you've worked, how far you have come, how much you've done, and you're being blessed with the ability to really prove people wrong. Again, to prove people wrong. To show people that you made something of yourself and you made something of your life even when they didn't believe you. And for some of you, it may not be that family dejected you or rejected you. It may not be that your family wasn't supportive. It may just be that you were born like poor, you were born in poverty, you didn't have a lot growing up. And so this king and the queen, that's literally just, you know, society above you, the upper, the middle class, the higher class, even people who were just a bit wealthier than you and your family, and now you can stand equal to them. You're on par with them. You're not struggling anymore. You're not worrying where money is come from, because you know where money is come from, because you're successful. And that's amazing. And that's like, whatever it is, it's just absolutely commendable. And I feel like another blessing. Why are you guys making me cry? Why are you guys making me cry? Another blessing this April is that you're going to have a moment to really be proud of yourself, to really pat yourself on the back. With the king and queen of spades and pentacles, it may again be your parents, but these parents like who passed on, and you may have a moment where you're like, you wish they could see how far you've come. You wish they could be here to celebrate with you, to enjoy your riches with you, because when they were alive, you guys were like broke as hell, and now you're not. You're just not. And it's going to be like, on one hand, you're so proud of yourself. You've come so far. But on the other hand, you don't have the people with you who you kind of wanted to do this all for. You're going to have this moment where you're going to like cry and just wish that you could have given your parents or whoever these people are a better life. You're going to have a moment where you wish these people could be like basking in your riches with you. And that's, you know, that's a very real feeling, because like I also lost my parents, and again, it's one of those things that you don't really know is, well, I don't want to say a blessing, but again, in the context of how we discussed it here, it's like, what's a blessing and what's a punishment? Would you have been you if you didn't have that loss on your mind, if you had been in a different situation, if you had lived a different life? You know what I mean? And so, and now come to think of it, if we do think of this king and queen as like your passed on parents or somebody who's just passed on, with the communication, it could mean that that's another blessing that's coming towards you this April, or that's a part of your blessings this April, that ability to communicate with them, to reach out to them, to have this conversation with them in whatever way makes you feel comfortable, whether that's getting a reading done, whether that's trying to reach out to them yourself, whether that's an ancestral shrine, whether that's praying for them, praying over them, whatever it is, communicating with them to let them know that, you know, you're with them because they're still with you. Okay, I'm gonna pull a final card for advice for you this April, especially with regard to this blessing. So advice for my group 3 for the April blessing, please. Now the dogs are barking. I can't believe 2 groups made me cry. Can you believe it? Group 3. Advice for my group 3, please. Advice for my group 3 with regard to the April blessing. The Jack of Spades. And I'm hearing, well, I first thought father's son, like your father's son, but then I was thinking of, is it a Lord song or a Mitski song? I think it's Lord. I am my mother's child. I love you till you call the cops on me. But that part's not really relevant. It's just that whether you're estranged from your parents, whether your parents passed on, with the Jack, it's like a reminder that they're still a part of you. And even if you don't want to communicate with them, especially if you're estranged in some way, and you're not at all obligated to communicate with them. But there's this reminder that rather than carry them with you, you carry the wounds that they left you with. And whatever the relationship is, whatever the situation is, you carry wounds that this left you with. If you grew up in poverty, you carry the wounds of poverty. If your parents passed away when you were young, you carry the wounds that they left with you and the wounds of their passing. If your parents cut you off, you carry the wounds of what they did to cut you off. If you were alienated from your community, you carry the wounds of alienation. Whatever it is, you carry the wounds. You are still a child of this environment, and so the thoughts they instilled with you, the beliefs they instilled with you, the wounds they left with you, you carry these with you. So even when you embark on new things, on new experiences, new endeavors, and even when you're successful, even when you feel like a cycle has ended, even when you feel like your life is starting fresh, don't ignore the child in you and the wounds that have been inflicted on that child in you. Whether it's the child in you, the teen in you, there's only so far you can go without dealing with those wounds. I can't word it correctly, like it's just eluding me. But you can't expect, well, you can expect, but the world won't unfold for you if you're not combating the beliefs and the wounds and the pain that is kind of keeping you from going towards a lot of opportunity and new experiences, and that may be keeping you from expanding and growing and developing in another greater way. I hope I worded that correctly. But also with the Jack, it's kind of a reminder that even though, yes, you're this King of Pentacles person, you're rich and you're successful and you're wealthy and you're happy and you have everything you've ever dreamed of, just still remember that you have like your whole life to live. This isn't the end all and be all of your life. You still have so much to live. And just because you're blessed with success now and you're blessed with the opportunity to prove people wrong, doesn't mean that you should just abandon your hopes and dreams and your passion and your drive. It doesn't mean that this is the life you're locked into. And that's another thing that you're going to be blessed with this month, is that clarity, that ability to really see where your heart lies in a way. There's a lot of blessings coming towards you this month, and I'm looking forward to it for you. So yeah, my group 3, I think that this is where I'll close your reading. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If you would like to book a reading with me, or you would like to leave me a tip, you can find the links to do so in the description box below. If you would like to, while you're there, while you're there, you can check out my social media. I'm on Twitter and Tumblr at Tarot with Love. Alright, bye.